Thank you for listening to Comics for Fun and Profit. This is Colin Drew with your sneak peek at next week in episode number 563 for comics originally releasing March 25th, 2020. But before Drew and I get into what's coming out in your local comic book shops this coming Wednesday, Drew, other than a pandemic, an apocalypse, and the end of the world, what else is going on in the world of comics?
Well, we talked about this. Kyle and I bounced this back and forth. Like, should we even have a show? I mean, because stuff's changing every second, minute. And it's awful. The corona is out there. The COVID-19 talk is everywhere. It's affecting even our comics.
Yeah.
Now that's permeated into our comics, and we're hearing that. Well, Midtown, all the Midtown stores have closed. Stores in San Francisco are all shut down. Comic shops around the country are some are being allowed to stay open, but they have to have curbside service. They can't just have people coming in and hanging out in their shops in many, many places. I don't know if that's nationwide. This has to limit the Wednesday Warrior pickups of their pull lists, which has to negatively impact cash flow for local comic shops.
Mm-hmm.
So that can't be good. I think some of the things I'm hearing from some of the publishers are full returnability, delayed of shipments, as the changes in what is and what is not an essential business and what can stay open changes. Well, if you can't go out, then do you really want Marvel to ship you 103 titles and invoice you for those when nobody can come in and buy them? And by the time they can come in, those are old, dead titles that nobody cares about. Right?
Yeah.
So, some publishers are, I think, I've heard good things. Image is full returnability. I know Vault's doing their part. Did you hear about if DC's doing anything? I know Marvel is not yet they're going to help out at all. But I don't know if DC's said anything yet. I haven't checked lately. Diamond, I think, was holding shipments maybe, or doing something where they weren't going to be doing invoicing and billing and shipping if for stores that didn't want it. So it's a strange time. So some of your local comic shops may be hurting, and you've probably already talked to them or reached out to them. But if you can, call them up over the phone and pay for your pull list and swing by and have them put it in a bag out front, grab it, drive slowly and grab it off the curb or something. If you can still support them, please do so. Because they've still got to keep the lights on. They've still got to pay their rent. They've still got other things coming in. Can you imagine if it was like giant Magic the Gathering launch going on right now?
Yeah.
How would that fit into everything? Oh man.
And they're canceling of any tournaments and cons and all that stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, we're hearing all movie theaters closing right and left. Drive-ins still being able to stay open though. That's good.
There you go.
So that can be a resurgence in the drive-in experience. And we're curious about. I mean, Kyle and I don't know anything, but we're curious about what this does the longer it goes on. What does this affect? What kind of effect does this have on the comics industry as we know it now? And as the severity if the severity increases and the length continues, will this have long-lasting ramifications?
Yeah, especially I saw some scuttlebutt also about Freight Comic Book Day being May 2nd as well.
Oh yeah, it's bumped. Yeah, is it bumped or canceled?
I don't know.
I think it's bumped to like late summer or something. Good news: our tax day has been bumped from April 15th to July 15th.
There you go.
I think that's official from the Treasury Department. So that's good because I was not ready for that anyway. But that gives people some extra time to gather
I,
their
on
documents.
the other hand, have already filed, gotten back money, and spent most of it.
Okay. Well, I was gonna have to pay, so I was not. I was not looking forward. I was not looking forward to that at all. So now I can delay that, and yeah. So it is a bummer out there, and I don't know if we're like the court jesters and we can cheer you up by talking about comics, but we're gonna talk
Give
about
you
comics
some
anyway.
semblance of normalcy, perhaps.
Yeah. So I guess we can chit chat a little bit about the weekend comics, and we did get another set of numbers from Comic-Con. So we know now that our guesses last week were pretty spot on.
There you go. And before we get into that, guys, right into the show, tell us how you guys are doing and your experiences with comics around the world. With things.
Yes.
Just let us know how things are on your end. If you're finding solace in comics during your quarantine times, or if it's affecting, or you think it'll affect the way you get your books, if you're transferring more things to digital, if you're taking this time to read backlog, just let us know. Be part of the podcast. Write in. I'm actually very curious how y'all are doing. I find comfort in hearing from you guys and what you guys are doing. So feel free to be part of the podcast. Reach out on either at Twitter, Facebooks, Instagrams, link in our Gmail as well. So just any of that stuff. Tell us how it's both affecting you and helping or hindering you.
Yeah, and how your shop's doing, and if this is an impetus to move you to mail order, we know a guy. We know a guy. Give Eric at Cowabunga a call, and he can help you out in your time of need, if that's the case.
And I will guarantee he will Lysol or the generic equivalent of your things before. I say that without the actual prior knowledge of that.
Yeah, that's probably not good for Mylar, but whatever. So, Kyle, we both guessed only one title in the top 300 would be over 100,000, and we were right. It is just Wolverine, but we did say that probably it would only be 120 or 140 or something like that.
Yeah, 120 was my guess, and I was like, if we're lucky, boom, 190.
Yeah. 190, a lot higher than I thought as well. So lots of covers helped sell that. People like their Wolverine schnick, and good deal. So almost 200,000. That's pretty good, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
And the fact that the 6th issue of X-Men so much higher than the 7th issue.
Yeah, an obnoxious amount higher than the 7th issue.
It's almost like there's something going on there, right?
Yeah.
Does that seem weird?
I think it was the Dark Phoenix Saga cover.
Okay.
So we had some dope variants and some stuff on it as well that pushed it just a little bit up.
Yeah, so X-Men's at 2 with 92,000. X-Men 7 at 76. Huge precipitous drop there. Gwen Stacy's first issue is 68,000. Giant Size X 63,000. Amazing Spider-Man 60,000. Star Wars Darth Vader 59,000. Batman 88 56,000. X-Men Fantastic Four at 56, and Batman 89 at 56. So I think those the DC books have cardstock, so there's numbers to be added to that. Mm-hmm. I just didn't do that math.
But all in all, not a ton of those laying out there, and especially for the price going for those, much less than some of the new 52 Batman titles that were more sought out. Not very many of these at the moment, because I think a lot of those that were even the ones that were more sought out, much closer, I should say, to the 100,000 mark.
Yeah, and so, everything's 40, 50,000. Not that great. Those numbers aren't great. But it is where we are in February's normally. Normally, February's are not great. I don't know if they're this low.
Yeah, no doubt.
Normally. I think we talked a little bit about it last time, that it was higher than last year's February. So the February last was even worse than this one. But this does feel pretty bad and pretty low.
Yeah.
And it's in the 20s pretty quickly before you get out of the top 100. And by the time you get to rank 100, you're at 17,000. And you're still looking at DC and Marvel titles in the teens. Nightwing 69, 18,000. Not strong.
Yeah. You're looking at the at rank 36. You're looking at the Year of the Villain, that Hell Arisen 3 as the first full appearance, or the other one of the other appearance at 36,000 there.
Yeah, that's a low print run.
Yeah.
And so that should hold value for a while as long as that character's around, right?
Absolutely, yes.
So we feel good about that. If you were
judging from the what do we rattle off, about 10, 12 books that supposed to be in here in the next couple months, we'll at least have sustainability through there.
Exactly. It looks like Comicron did do the math for us. Batman 88 would have been in fourth place with both its covers added together, and 89 would have been in fifth. And it would have put Deceased Unkillables into the top 10 at rank 6.
Oh, that's cool.
So if you fuse them, and I didn't realize that there was a fused column.
Gotcha.
So if you do that, it does the math for you, and it does put the Batman Deceased up there. Nothing else changes as much. I guess it gets Amazing Spider-Man down a little bit, I guess. That makes sense. Kicks things down.
9,
yeah. So
to 10.
So it basically just adds the card stocks to it. So yeah, I should probably read more.
Yeah, handy. Very, very, very handy.
Yeah, literacy is fun.
That should be like rule and lesson number 1 when talking about comics.
Reading is first.
Yeah. Which on a good note, I've got 3 children at home that I'm venturing more towards trying to do some semblance of homeschooling with. So we will be adding more and more comics to our curriculum because there's no gatekeepers of teachers to get that through other than me.
But who's making sure that you do the homeschooling?
My wife.
But I mean, is there like a check and balance from the school system?
No, nothing at all. They're gonna send some stuff home, and then we still have access to a lot of the online accelerated reading program stuff like that as well. But for the most part, they're just like, don't let their brains rot. See you next year, I think.
Are teachers doing anything with Zoom or anything to talk to your kids?
I've seen some things where they're reading some things on Facebooks and videos and stuff, but not directly related to my children.
Well, then, but they're still getting paid, right?
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
So I would expect them to be hopping they should be coming to your house with lesson plans and stuff.
And one thing they are doing is they are writing letters to our children. Like my 3rd grader has letters that he then has to answer questions and physically write back to his teachers. To work on physical writing and answering questions and sentence structure and stuff like that.
Old school.
Yeah, we're going analog.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
So it won't be all Fortnite and Minecraft, but we might make time.
I was working from home today. I did a Zoom meeting in my Batman pajamas.
There you go.
And I had my Kate left the butt plug sketch in the background of my,
that's awesome.
Of my frame, and I had a couple people asking, are those comics on your wall? Yeah, they are. I can't really make them out. What are they? Oh, don't worry about that.
Oh, typical Batman, Superman.
Don't you worry about that. It's the new world that we're in.
That's right.
So yeah, we couple of things of note to me in this top 100 or top 300. Man Who Effed Up Time was a former pick of Kyle's from Aftershock. It sold almost 8,000 copies, which I thought was pretty healthy for its first issue. God Killers, this first issue, also from Aftershock, did 7,700. And Undone by Blood from Aftershock did 6,600. So a little healthy. I know a lot of those Aftershock books have settled under 3,000 copies. But it's nice to see these launch a little stronger for an indie book.
There you go. alienated by Boom, sitting around the 126th spot with 14,000.
That's not too bad either.
Not too shabby at all. Above many a hardcore Marvel title.
Yeah, I like that. A lot of those Boom books that I like, though, are just... Something is Killing Children. Oh, that's a reprint. Sorry.
There you go. And Bang, #1, the Matt Kemp book from Dark Horse. Looking at rank 161. Or 159. Now that I've hit Fuse, I don't know where I'm completely at with it.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense anymore, does it?
No kidding. Yeah, they're around 10,000.
Yeah, I'm wondering what that's done to my rankings now. And I've sorted. I sorted by Fuse, then by publisher, so I'm all over the place.
So feel free to head over to Comic-Con and check the numbers for yourself, because they are cool and all over the place.
Undiscovered Country is still selling well. Its 4th issue at 24,000. Very strong. Sex Criminals Fused is 10,700.
Makes it look like my much more healthy book when you look at it Fused.
Yeah.
I believe the standard numbers was like $5,000.
Yes, exactly. Lucy Claire Redemption, Old Rock Up Church, or John Up Church now.
Yep.
3,200 on its 3rd issue.
There you go.
That's kind of disappointing.
Yeah, it is.
But I mean, you look around to these other indie books, and the numbers just aren't there. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm surprised anybody can get to a 3rd trade. It blows my mind that a book like, let's say, like Manifest Destiny, one of my favorites, right? Where is that at? See if I can find it. Manifest Destiny, 3,700 copies at issue 41. Yeah. That's not as bad as I thought it would be, actually. So, but I mean, that's actually pretty good. That does. I mean, you could probably pay a creative team selling 4,000 copies a month. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't think you guys are gonna be making a lot of extra money, but you might be able to pay a creative team out of that. But Crowded at 11, its 11th issue, and it's at 2,500, and we've heard this is going to move from single issues to trades, OGN trades. So I guess you can see why that it's just not going to sell enough in floppies to even break even, even be worth the cost of whatever you have to pay Image to market your book. It's a real challenge for folks.
Yeah, because things like Hardcore Reloaded on its 3rd issue is 1,600.
Yeah, right. And so it's already moved to the series of miniseries to try to prop those numbers up and get to 4 or 5 issues, collect in a trade, but it's having diminishing returns, as you can see. It's a bummer. But, I mean, these people, it's a passion project for folks, obviously, because they keep doing it.
Yeah.
And we see new publishers pop up all the time with a new way to make and sell comics. And, at least to the direct market, they don't do a lot. They don't really make a big dent.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they're going somewhere. Maybe they're doing well digitally, or they're making big money in trades. Let's hope.
Yeah, and we shall see what this does for the digital market, with people being sequestered to their homes.
Yeah, exactly. We reached out to Eric. We were going to have him pop on and talk a little bit about his shop. He's burning the candle at both ends, work and the business and kids at home too, and so he wasn't able to pop on tonight. We might catch up with him later, but he did send his FOC recommendations.
There you go. Of course, FOC is the final order cutoff. It's our last ability to add things to order. Where this is due by midday on Monday. to add things to your pull list so we can make sure we don't have to chase things down and they're just waiting for us as if we'd figured them out during our previews phase. So, of course, there are a few things that Eric from Cowabunga likes to pull to the forefront on these things, and some of the things he's grabbed on this was Last Night of St. Hagen #1 from Dark Horse, Mike Mignola and our good friend Varios writing that one. Aquaman 59, the Tyler Kirkham cover B on that. A really cool Batman 93 cardstock Francisco Matina cover B. Really
Gorgeous.
Cool variant on that one. Empire #1 from Marvel. Empire with a Y. The standard, I assume the A cover on that one. The Jim Cheng cover there. New Warriors #1 of 5, Daniel Kibblesmith, with cover by R.B. Silva. I was sending Drew some of the new characters in that one, and he did not believe for a second that they are who they are. So just FYI on that one.
Is there that is? That's the Snowflake and the... What was the other one? Snowflake and Libtard or something?
Safe Space, Snowflake. One of them is Screen Time. Very, very... Yes. And then we also have Star Wars Bounty Hunters #1, second print, with a awesome Lee Bermejo, a different Boba Fett cover.
Yeah.
So I'm going to need that as well.
That's beautiful. That is a beautiful cover.
Yeah.
And it was a good call. Yeah. This kid, this new artist, or maybe he's not a kid, maybe he's not new, but the Aquaman guy, Ian McDonald, doing some stuff there.
Yeah,
right?
Very good. Not bad for Ronald's son.
Is that who it is?
I don't know. I can't idea.
That'd be fantastic.
All right, but there are more things than just the handful of things that Eric from Cowabunga has featured for us. So let's dig into our FOC and see if we can find anything else. Let's start where we love to start. Let's start in Dark Horse. Of course, we have Cyberpunk 2077 tchotchkes coming out. Although the game has been delayed till fall, the tchotchkes continue to move.
Everything 2, that's pretty cool. I still have a couple of the issues of Everything's first volume, so I haven't finished it. So I don't know how that finished up. So I need to get on that before this new volume comes up. Because I don't think I have not yet read the last issue of the first volume. So, but it must have done well enough that folks are excited for more.
Warranting some additional ones. Yep.
Yes.
There we have that Last Night at St. Hagen #1. That is, of course, the Mike Mignola, Scott Alley, Andrea Mute. A wily Polish spy pursued by a group of Nazi enforcers flees through the small town of Toren in 1939, the beginning of the German occupation, and he carries important information for the resistance. But a bullet, a tomb, a ghost, perhaps even God, have their own plans for the spy, and they will involve the mystical Crusader Knight, St. Hagen.
Now, can we jump into DC?
I suppose let's head on down to DC.
What's the Deceased horror cover supposed to be an homage of?
I'm not a horror guy, so let's see. Oh, that's the phone it in homage to the new Harley Quinn movie that just came out.
Oh, so it's not really a horror
Yeah,
homage.
they didn't go horror at all in that one.
Well, they shouldn't call it cardstock horror then.
Completely agree. Very disappointed in them.
Yeah.
But on Batman 93, here's where we've begun the ratioed era for DC. We not only have our 93rd issue of Batman, we have our cardstock issue of Batman, and then we have a 1 in 25 designer variant of Batman. We hear these are going to go a little farther than 1 in 25 here in the near future. But for now, we have featured designer, and if you want this dope cover, it's going to cost you, from Cowabunga, $40. But if you want to go a little deeper with some of these DC, we are going to have the opportunity now.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Is it too little, too late?
No, because from what I hear, retailers like this kind of thing.
Yeah. So whenever that happens, it's okay. People hop on board.
Justice League 45 says we have a Dan Mora print, so I'm going to check that out and say that is awesome.
I was clicking on that when you were talking. I was
go.
like, oh, I got to check that out.
And when I see Lolo Woods has a Jenny Frizen variant, I click on that, and that is super amazing. Wow, that's a stunning cover. I'm not even reading that title, but I want that book.
It's good. It's another one. It's another great one of the Hill House books. They're all so good, so good.
My boy
who's
Nightwing.
Alan Quah? Yeah, I was going to say, who's Alan Quah?
Not bad. Few too many abs, but I've seen worse. That's a lot of glass. I think we could have done a little bit better with that. So
He's upside down?
Yeah, I'm guessing he's fallen out of a window of some sort. So, we're still a little hokey, but as Nightwing heads more towards relevance, let's hope his covers do as well.
That's a digital process he's doing there, right? That's the Matina type process that he's.
I am the least artistic person of all time, so I'm unaware. But the standard cover A is much better than that cover. So there you go.
And that's by who?
The standard cover A.
It is Mike Perkins.
Yeah, Mikey P.
You know, I kind of like that.
Yep.
And these are parts of the appearances of Punchline, right?
Yes. Or
They
Joker
started,
War. I don't know.
Did they start at 71? Or was it starting at 73? I think it was...
I read this last week. I don't know.
I know, I can't remember. I didn't write it down.
I've been dodging Coronas, so I'm not sure.
Yeah. Hey, we didn't put it in the show notes, so that won't help you at all. We are on 10 of 12 on Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen.
Which by all accounts is really good, and I have read 3 of them and really liked the 3 that I read.
I've been tracking like the books that I read each week for a while now.
Nice.
And last week I started doing like a percentage of the line that I've been reading, because I used to be like all in on Image, right?
Yeah,
I used to read everything. And last week Image released 10 books, of which I'm reading 2. So therefore, 20%, right?
Correct.
And then Marvel was they released 23 books, and I'm not counting like reprints, facsimiles, or dollar books. I'm counting like real books. And they released 23, of which I read 4, and so it's like 17%. So I was like, oh geez. And then I got to DC, and they released 14 books. And I was reading 10 of them.
Oh, wow.
70% of their line. And I'm like, I'm curious to see if that holds up, because that it could be just an outlier week. I can't believe I'm that all in on DC. But I'm reading a lot of DC. That Hill House helps a lot. You know, I'm reading the Lois. I'm reading the Jimmy Olsen, I'm reading Batman, I'm reading Nightwing, I'm reading Teen Titans, I'm reading a ton of stuff. Superman, action, detective. So sometimes when they all roll on that same week, I'm almost all in on DC, and I would not have guessed that.
Yeah, no kidding.
Would not have guessed that. Anyway, that's a little aside for me.
Very nice. Anything else for you in DC, sir?
I don't think so. I am looking forward to that question, The Deaths of Vic Sage. That's been a fun book. I've liked that a lot. It's a nice, oversized, cool looking format.
And Howard Chaykin is doing our B cover on that.
Oh wow.
Yep.
I don't think I knew that.
Well, isn't Sienkiewicz doing our A?
Yes. Yeah. That's a great cover, man. That Chaykin cover's great.
Yeah.
I love that.
All right, down into IDW, we have Crow Leth going to a second print. And we're not being told the cover to tell you if it's going to a different one on that one.
Yeah. The Tone Deaf Pandemica is on its fifth.
No doubt.
It's the tough one to read right now,
Yeah.
along with The Clock by Matt Hawkins, another pandemic book. They are hitting too close to home.
Yeah, no escapism here.
Yes.
Along with my ill-timed cough, but our listeners should be used to my respiratory issues.
Yes. It's we all know Kyle's always sick, and it's probably not Corona. Probably not.
Yeah.
Sleeping Beauties?
Yeah, go for it.
No, you go.
Sleeping Beauties we pluralize this number one from IDW by Rio Uvers, or yours on that one, based on the horror novel by Stephen and Owen King and adapted by Rio Uvers, who we know from The Forgotten Girl. A strange sleeping sickness known as Aurora has fallen over the world, and strangest of all, it only affects women. In the small town of Dueling, a mysterious woman has walked out of the woods. She calls herself Eve and leaves a trail of carnage behind her. More mysterious, she's the only woman who is not falling asleep. Down, and we will see what Image has for us.
Did I blow through them already?
A lot of Image books.
It was Die. Man, issue 9 was so good. So good. It was awesome to have it back. It's a really fun book, folks.
Mm-hmm.
So if you missed out because it was FOC only and your shop didn't carry it, see if you can get the trades or read it digitally, because it is great.
Based on its wackadoo and completely crazy nature, what is the adaptability of Die?
I think it's. I mean, with the way Walking Dead was able to do its effects pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
You're seeing some good CGI in like Orville and stuff. So I think you can get away with a lot of this gore. I think you can get away with a lot of this gore pretty easily. And then any kind of because there's one thing where there's like a guy loses his nose.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you'd be able to CGI that pretty cheaply nowadays. I think you could do almost all of it pretty affordably.
Very good. We got some more Spawn, some more Stealth, some more Tartarus, and down into Marvel.
I tried to read Cable. I couldn't get it. Didn't do it for me.
Children of the Atom. Haven't we done this before?
That one I don't know.
What was the thing where Wolverine?
We did Adam Strange, didn't we?
What was the thing where Wolverine's kid came back through time, and it was something of the, or was that Battle of the Atom?
Oh yeah, you might be right. Like that was a while ago, right?
That was a while ago, yeah. But Children of the Atom is apparently when did the X-Men get sidekicks? Now don't miss the debut of the greatest teenage superhero team of all time. They've learned from the best. Now they're ready to be put to the test. But who the heck are these kids, and where do they come from? Guest starring the X-Men. So we have the Diet Coke version of some of your favorite X-Men. But we may have their first appearance in some of this stuff. So get them?
It's so hard when I don't want to read it. It's so hard to get excited about it.
Yeah, okay. So click on the Nyack variant, because that gives us a look at everything here.
Todd Knock.
Sorry, I don't know why I said it like that, because it's spelled weird. That's not really my fault. So, okay. So
yeah, I don't know who's new.
Yeah, we've got So that looks like a legit Gambit there, and that looks like a legit Storm, and
that's Nightcrawler. Yeah.
Yeah, but we have there's regular Cyclops and Diet Coke Cyclops. There's regular Nightcrawler and Diet Coke Nightcrawler.
I gotcha.
Diet Coke Gambit, Diet Coke Angel. I don't see a generic
So it's a
version
Champions X-Men.
Yeah, and I don't see a Storm knockoff, but I see Storm there, so who knows?
So all things X-Men gonna be hot, or is this gonna be? Remember when didn't Grant Morrison do some X-Men characters? There are a lot of weird ones that kind of disappeared.
Yeah, but we might be able to have some fun adventures with this. Since I can't decide. And are they just?
I have no interest. It would have to be something I bought and didn't read, and I don't like to do that.
So, Comics for Fun and Profit's original recommendation is pass.
I will sit it out. You don't have to. I would sit it out.
We are one and the same in thought, sir.
Wow, nice.
Yeah.
That's pretty sad.
That would be a first.
Yeah. The Empire.
So popular already, we already have the second print. You can buy it alongside the first print.
That doesn't make sense to me, but whatever.
If you look at the release days, they're the same. Okay, never mind.
I don't get that. What is that even about? That makes no. Somebody's gonna have to explain that to me, along with Common Core math or something, because I do not get that.
John Tyler Christopher is not letting us look at our 2-pack action figures to make any decisions on that.
Yeah, so I looked at the synopsis for Empire. I haven't done a whole lot of. It doesn't look like it's for me.
No, sir, I don't like it.
Sitting out.
How to Read Comics the Marvel Way, number 1 of 4. Christopher Hastings.
Hastings?
Yep. There's an H and something around here.
And Koblish doing the art. With David Nakayama, who was interviewed by our good buddy Jason recently.
So if that intrigues you, check it out.
It doesn't intrigue me at all. I'm going to pass on that one too. Gosh, do I even like comics this week?
No kidding.
I'm really a Debbie Downer.
More Marvel Tales, original Marvel Zombies number 1. That's an $8 reprint of some old 2005's Marvel Zombies and some other stuff.
Oh, is that what that is? Okay.
Yeah. New Warriors number 1. Drew, how keen are you on these New Warriors?
I don't think I can. I don't mean to be so negative, but I don't think I want to read this either.
Yeah.
I know I don't want to read this. I'm 100% sure I don't want to read this. So I'm going to wait it out and just, have somebody tell me how great it is before I even think about checking this out.
Let me see some of these other covers and see if we have some of these, in my mind, wackadoo new characters. Nope, not giving us heart on that one.
I did like Spider-Woman. The first issue was really good. Got a new costume. Character's pretty cool. I know she's Silk. So Kyle's out, but it wasn't bad. And for $80, you can get a Frizzen variant. That's gorgeous.
Yeah.
I liked the last Spider-Woman volume a little better, but this is pretty good.
There you go. Put me in an order for Star Wars Bounty Hunters number 1, second print.
Was that 1 or 2? Second print. Was it number 1 or number 2?
Number 1, second print.
Okay. Because there's also a number 2 second print.
Wait,
I don't know who's on the cover of that one.
Of Bounty Hunters?
Yeah.
Where?
Oh, no, that's Darth Vader. I'm sorry.
I was going to say.
Well, there's a lot of second prints going on. I get confused.
There you go. That is a cool cover on that one as well.
Yeah.
So we have Vader with the, at that point in time, supposed Padme Amidala. Not really. Fighting alongside each other with some land squids. It's pretty cool.
I really feel inadequate when you talk. You're on a deeper level of Star Wars understanding than I am.
Yeah.
It makes me sad that I don't know as much as you.
I apologize.
No, you should. You should rub it in my face until I catch up to you.
Holy Shirtless Kylo Ren, second print, Star Wars Rise of Kylo Ren, number 4, second print.
Is it shirtless?
Yeah, we get all the Kylo in his shirtless, just look at me in my black pants with a lightsaber glory.
Oh man.
So if there's ever a wall book to be had, that's the one. Go ahead and put me on the list for one of those.
I don't know if you're joking or not, but I'm serious. If you had that at a con to get signed, right, that'd be the one.
Yeah. Legit, I think a lot of these covers and like some of the ratio variants of this Kylo Ren series have been selling because of the striking covers, and this is right there with them. I honestly think you need to have that second print because I think it will be sought after. It goes right along the shirtless Kylo Ren meme. So in all reality, I do want you to order one, not just for, my own carnal purposes, but for, in my mind, flippability.
All right.
And that way I can track down Adam Driver and say, "Sir, could you sign this for me?"
Could you sign this along with my
and then the comic as well.
That's awesome. Hotel, number 2 of 4. This was a previous pick from AWA Studios. And also we have Resistance number 2 from AWA Studios. I'm excited to read these. I haven't got a chance to get around to reading these yet, but I'm excited for what AWA has to offer, and I'm curious to what the look and feel of those books are.
There you go. I was big into the Faithless first bottles, the Tulalote covers.
Oh, yeah.
And all this stuff. I don't believe I'm going to be doing as much with the second issue. They're doing not only the cover A and the erotic connecting cover B. So not only are you getting a polybagged erotic B, but they're now connecting. I'm unaware if it's going to be connecting, a big 6 of them to make a large erotic art or what. And we also have a FOC exclusive Chris Anka cover, and that is really cool looking.
Yeah. So that's a tough call.
Yeah.
You pay the extra $1 for the erotic version. Well, the extra 25 cents. I guess it's not that much. And see how that turns out. But you got to be in. You can't just dip your toe and get like the FOC Anka. If you dip your toe in the connecting variant, you got to get all 6.
Yes, correct.
Right?
Yeah.
In for a penny, in for a pound.
And this is Boom's way of kicking the door down and saying, "We're not for kids anymore."
Yeah, we're not just lumberjanes.
Yeah, exactly. Red Mother number 5, and of course an FOC exclusive version of that as well. I do love that Boom is leading hard into this FOC exclusive stuff. That makes me happy.
Yeah, I like that too. Yeah. Kyle, if we jump on down to Titan.
If we just skip Dynamite like it never even existed.
Exactly. And we get down to Life is Strange, Partners in Crime. Mm-hmm. Is this a sequel to the video game, or is this just a sequel to the comic that was based on the video game originally?
This is there are a few games.
Okay.
Yeah, I think this is a comic continuation
of the video game original. Okay.
Yeah.
So this would be diminishing returns because it's not a new Life is Strange video game.
But if you really like those characters and fell for them in that, I think this is going to give you things that the video game is not.
Because you did pretty well on this originally, right?
Correct, yes.
But we would say pass this time around? Because it's a sequel? A duplication of an original?
Yeah, I think most everybody's moved on a little bit on this one. So
okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
I'm not as big on this one. We also have Rick and Morty presents the Council of Ricks #1. This down around. That's pretty cool.
That means something to you?
Yeah,
Council
from the
of
Citadel of Ricks, one of my favorite episodes.
Okay.
So a cool one there. They've been doing a lot of these one-off ones here. They haven't been as popular as the mainline series, but things that give me a little bit of a chuckle. Cover B, The Way to Go.
We got Lady Zorro from American Mythology by Pat Shand. with a Mike Wolfer cover I like a lot. I'm not a big fan of Zorro normally, or any of those type of characters, but I did really enjoy that recent. Was it Lone Ranger? I enjoyed a lot. So some of these characters, these old pulp and serial characters, every once in a while they get a cool creative team on them, and they're worth reading.
So they're giving you the option to pay $4, $5, or $10 for an episode.
Oh yeah, what's the limited edition pulp look like?
There you go.
Is it a pretty cover? Let's see. No, it's about the same.
We have the Retailer Summit 2020 version of Empire #1, so we kicked back and forth about the Retailer Summer version of something else last week.
Yeah.
So,
and it was only $3.99.
This one's $6. You can keep your Retailer Summit on this one. I did not get a chance to deep dive with our good friend Eric on the scuttlebutt for these Retailer Summit ones.
Yeah, and it's going to, with all the covers on Empire, we're going to be maybe 200,000, maybe 150, 200,000 of that title, because it's their big push, their big event that the Marvel Zombies will follow. So I would think that's going to do pretty well, and so I don't know that the Retailer Summer will be as appealing.
Yeah, gotcha. But that's all on FOC for me.
Excellent. That is all I had as well. Let's shoot over and see if our good friends at Cover Price put together a new top 10 or are still riding the punchline train.
All right.
Let's see. At the top, we've got Year of the Villain, Hell Arisen, #3. This is, of course, Punchline's first appearance, because I don't count the cameo, the previous cameo. It just was too barely a panel. So this one's much more interesting to me. And it was 125 copies sold, so that's pretty sizable. They're now selling close to 56.75 for raw copies, so that's pretty darn good. And that, like we just found out, there's about 36,000 of these in the wild, so probably should pick those up. At #2, we've got Batman #90, which is the designer's first full appearance, which sold 82 copies, and it's selling for $30 in raw, mint condition. Batman '89, the cameo appearance. Let's see, is somebody bought a CGC 98 for $132. So they got a CGC turnaround on that pretty quickly, which is crazy in these times. How quickly they were able to get a CGC flipped around. That's pretty amazing. Let's see. Then we're down at Wolverine's C2E2 variant. This is a fluorescent Wolverine cover. There were only 3,000 of these in existence. 34 of them changed hands last week. One of them was a 9.8 CGC that sold for $400. So if you got one, slab that sucker and hope it's in good shape. The Uncanny X-Men #166, the newsstand edition from 1983. Lockheed, which is Kitty Pryde's dragon, is rumored to appear in the now delayed New Mutants film that's going to be coming out. This film has had multiple hurdles to jump to make it to the big screen, and we know a lot of movies aren't even coming out now that we're supposed to. So, this should have Lockheed in it, and I guess that's a big enough selling point to sell 14 of these newsstand copies for about $40 a piece.
And this is the first time I've ever seen both direct and newsstand competing, and we've kind of broken them out. I know we've a lot of time had people go, hey, what's the deal with the barcode? It's not a barcode, it's just the head of Spider-Man kind of thing. Yep. And that's either your newsstand or your direct variant. And I've, for the most part, always been like, it's fairly irrelevant. But here we're seeing actual knowledge that direct edition is selling higher and more, and not necessarily as popular, but more valued than the newsstand variant.
Is the newsstand with the barcode or the direct with the barcode?
Newsstand is barcode, direct is Spider-Man.
Okay, that makes sense. I guess. But it means I guess back then direct shops didn't have point of sale.
Yeah, they weren't like your newsstand is on a spinner rack in a grocery store, going through a line and being scanned by just like a bunch of bananas. Yeah. Whereas your direct is being sold direct.
So they're typing in. Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah. All right. So yeah, and then the direct edition was selling higher, right? It was selling.
Direct edition had a high sale of $69, whereas.
Oh, that was a CGC copy. Okay.
No,
we didn't have.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we didn't have raw, but
we didn't. Okay. I was a little confused then.
But we sold more copies of the direct than we did the newsstand, which makes sense. There's probably less direct edition versions. Marvel Fanfare number 11 is the latest Black Widow trailer. The Iron Maiden mask is briefly seen in the background. It's rumored to be in the film over a year ago, which may have been confirmed in this trailer. Just in case that's right, let's see, it could get spoilery here. The book's jumped up a little with the new trailer hint. It's still unknown if the mask is worn, so that could end up not moving as much. So anyway, this is the first appearance of a mask that could be influential. It's sold 25 copies and had a high sale of $135 for a CGC 9-8.
Yeah, so between Taskmaster being in the latest trailer, this being in the latest trailer, and the movie maybe not coming out for 6 more months, who knows? All of this Black Widow crap is in limbo.
Yeah, and we're hearing that because all the dates are moved, then they might not be released in the right order, and that might influence the way the wave comes out in the right, I guess, sequence with the right trailers and things embedded in them. So it could have ramifications. All this stuff being delayed like this. I guess it's not as easy as we thought of just release them 1 week after the other.
I just thought Marvel made movies and printed money.
Yeah, we'll see. This was their first hiccup, and they really didn't have a hiccup because they pulled it and didn't release it. So we will see what happens when it does finally come out.
Yeah.
Batman number 90. This is the Matina variant. 34 copies sold. High raw sale of $22.50. Spawn number 1, still selling strong from 1992. Millions of this book out there.
Yeah.
17 more copies sold, and somebody CGC'd it for $9.8 and got $110. Good for them.
Only we'd have pulled a few more of them out of quarter bins.
Yeah. Justice League, rounding out the top 10. Justice League number 50 from 2016.
I have this sitting somewhere.
Yep. This has a lot going for it. You should be hunting for it. It's got a Grail in all her awesomeness. It features the first 4 appearance of Jessica Cruz as Green Lantern, the reveal of 3 Jokers in the DC comic verse, and that's the main driver. It sold 20 copies and has a high sale of $15 for raw copy. They're really high on this as something that you should be hoarding like toilet paper and putting away for a rainy day because of those 3 Jokers reveal.
Yeah, no doubt.
And bonus, you get a Jessica Cruz first appearance. First full appearance.
There you
go. That's enough to propel us into our sneak of next week.
You don't want to do any more of the runners up for...
Oh, you can if you've got them handy.
I do.
Yeah.
At rank 11, they've given us some bonus material here. We have Star Wars Darth Vader number 1. That's still continuing to have heat. 11 copies sold, 7-day trend, a high sale of $10 for a raw copy.
That'd be original volume, right?
No, Marvel 2020. So the book that just came out not too long ago is already getting 10 for it. So that's a pretty nice little return. Of course, the second print of Hell Arisen number 3, which I fanned my nose up and said if I don't get a first print, screw y'all. $13 for a raw copy, so I know nothing. Bloodshot #1, 1993 from Valiant. All the heat on this movie that you may never be able to see and may come out to streaming soon. Who knows? High value sale of $57.91 and a CGC 9.8, but they are moving several copies. Batman 89, the Matina B variant, continuing to be doing very well. We're selling CGC 9.8s already, $125. Sweetheart #1, Action Labs, just came out not too long ago, a couple weeks or last week. A new book from Action Lab that saw some market heat. It's pretty hard for an independent publisher to get any release noticed with all the punchline noise, but this sold 32 copies and was selling for upwards of $10 a pop. Drew, have you heard of this Moon Knight #1? Apparently in 1980 he had his first issue. Fans are preparing for this Disney Plus Moon Knight series, and they should, and we hope it's awesome. 20 copies moving still. $270 for a CGC 9.8. The one I have and I'm looking at right now would definitely grade 9.6, 9.8. I need to send that mofo off.
Well, you probably can't right now. I think CBCS is closed.
Do not put SARS or Corona in my sealed comic and send it back to me, please.
Yes. And didn't they, haven't a lot of these Disney Plus shows halted production?
I don't know.
So I don't know if we're going to get a lot of these on time like we wanted.
Who knows? Star Wars 16 from 1977. The first issue appears of the Hunter, a.k.a. Burlet. That's the guy from the Bounty Hunter series that we just had out the other week. So we're seeing 13 copies moving of that. $15 for a 9.0. So that's good. Of course, Wolverine #1 from 1988. This thing keeps popping back up. That is, of course, Wolverine just hanging out on top of the pile of bodies. We are seeing 11 copies moving of that with a high sale of $54 for a VF Plus. We talked about Star Wars Bounty Hunters #1, and we liked some of these covers. We had, of course, that 1 in 50 variant. We have 29 copies of that high-end variant selling, and a high sale of $150 for a raw copy of that one. So that's awesome. And again, I thumbed my nose at second prints. Batman 89 second print, getting $10 a copy for the 89 second print as well, even though DC refuses to do anything fun or different with their second prints.
Yeah, which you always steer clear of because of that.
Yeah, well, show me something new. But, I mean, we looked at the numbers. The numbers are so low for those people just wanted them. Or their LCS has convinced them they needed that one. One of the two.
Yeah.
All right. Now do we want to head on into preview? Does this previews world?
Yes, I think so. Let's do our sneak peek.
All right, over to previewsworld.com. Find March 25th, 2020. Click that table view. Scroll down and start where we love to start. Let's start in Image.
There's tons of good stuff here. Analog #10. That's a great book. It took a little breaky break. Looks like it was supposed to come out back in September, but it's really great. Crowded. We saw how pitifully this is selling, but it's a really good book. And this will finish up the second trade, and then we'll go ahead and punt to trades from now on. Death or Glory #10. The Rick Remender book is, I think this might be finishing up. I'm not sure if we're getting close to the end. I've been wrong before on that, so don't trust me there. We've got the 5th issue of Heart Attack. That's been a fun series. Philadelphia, I lost interest in. I did jump off of that one. There's Lucy Claire Redemption. I like that Rock Upchurch book a lot.
Me too.
And we have On the Stump. That was a pretty good first issue. And then Sex Criminals, which came back with a vengeance from its long hiatus, and is going to ride this last story arc out.
I was all in, but I just jumped straight off on this last arc. Is that a mistake? That I will not be complete?
The last arc of Sex Criminals?
Yes.
Oh, dude. You read up to this point,
I haven't read. I have purchased.
Oh, you might as well finish because...
Never mind.
At this point, yeah, you should finish and have the complete. It's not great, like it used to be.
Yeah.
It meanders a little bit, but there is pieces of brilliance within it. It's it's that writing style that I like, and that occasionally hits well. And Zdarsky's great, so it's nice to see him doing art and not writing. I mean, I like his writing too, but yeah, I endorse it. I endorse it right out the string. I can't. Yeah, if you're up to this last, you should finish it up.
There you go. All right, and down to Dark Horse.
Yeah.
Can't remember what Tomorrow #1 was to tell you if I care about Tomorrow #2. Peter Milligan and Jesus Hervas.
Yeah, and I didn't like Hidden Society, so I jumped out of that.
All right, down to IDW. Dying is Easy is on its penultimate issue.
Yeah, I still have 3 to read. I haven't read 3 yet.
I Can Sell You a Body, penultimate there as well.
It's a little delayed.
There you go. TMNT Jenica, 2 of 3.
Usagi Ojimbo Collar Classics. These have been fun. It's on its 3rd issue.
Transformers versus Terminator. Okay. And down to DC. Basket Full of Heads, penultimate on that one as well. Second print of 90 there. We saw the first print doing very well.
Yeah. These Batman Beyond, are these still Batwoman Beyond going on in here? Yeah.
Yep.
People seem to be liking that.
Francis Manipool cover B is a nice cover of that.
We're finally finishing up Batman Curse of the White Knight. Feels like it's been taking its sweet time, but maybe not. But it's been fun. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah. That is a beautiful looking cover on that first one. Man, I love that.
Did you read any of this Batman Superman this time around?
Nope.
We went pretty heavy the last time we did there was a Batman Superman. Yeah. It was a mistake. Detective, I'm not sure I'm loving Detective right now. It's okay. I'm not loving action either though, so liking it, not loving it.
There you go. Cool looking Dan Mora cover on Red Hood and the Outlaws 44. Looks like a very hardcore Red Hood, which is the Red Hood that I like the most. If anybody is in need of a Black Label book, it is Red Hood.
That makes a lot of sense, actually.
Derek Chu, you also do awesome Supergirl covers.
Raphael Grampa's B cover on Wonder Woman 754 is pretty sweet.
Yeah, that is very cool. All right, let's see what Marvel has in store for us.
We got a giant size X-Men Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler is a fun character, so that could be a fun read.
Written by Jonathan Hickman.
Yeah. Could be pretty good.
That does look cool. Hickman and Davis haunt the Xavier School.
I'm going to finish up the Jessica Jones Blind Spot with its 6th issue. Kind of thought it finished up last issue, so this is a surprise for me. Keep doing this. It really buttoned up nicely at issue 5. I can't believe there's another one. It's really weird.
Yeah. Marvel Avengers Black Widow #1. The Super Spy stars in the final adventure before the launch of Marvel's Avengers. So, this is a video game.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah.
I really like the Star Wars Bounty Hunters Empire Strikes Back variant.
That is
really
good.
Nice ad on the cover.
Yeah, very nice.
That's it for me, DC.
you have the old She-Hulk #1? Because we have a True Believers $1 version of that She-Hulk #1, which used to be a pretty attainable grail for people, but it's been getting pretty expensive lately as well. Excuse me.
I got one somewhere. Yeah, I don't think it's great. I don't think it's a great copy though.
Gotcha.
I think I did get it out of a dollar bin, and the reason it was a dollar bin was because it was a wrinkly cover.
Gotcha. All right, down to the Dynamite.
Gotta love Killing Red Sonja. We get an FOC variant on that. It's a Mark Russell book again. So I guess we finished up the other Red Sonja, which hasn't really finished up for me. So I may have missed one. Or maybe there's multiple Red Sonjas going on.
I think
that's possible as well. And maybe he's writing multiple, but I'll read it.
There you go.
It's good stuff.
Down to Boom, where we have Folklords rounding up that Matt Smith book.
So good. I can't believe it's only 5 issues, but I did see the sales, so I understand it. But it's a great book. But it's going to leave a lot of meat on the bone for more stories.
And of course, if you jumped in for an FOC exclusive Matt Smith variant there as well.
Great.
And there we have Once and Future #7. And Dan Mora on the cover A there. And Jenny Frison coming in. With a really nice cover B there.
And 9 times out of 10, you're going to take the Frison variant, but the Dan Moras are gorgeous, and you got to go with the cover A.
And just go and pick up the trade for issues 1 through 6.
Yeah.
So the trade's available, and the start of the next arc's available. Just do it.
Just do it. It's great. It's wonderful.
Yep. Black Gas #1. All those are foil variants and weird things from Avatar Press. Too weird for me. I'm out.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Its release schedules they're very confusing for me.
Same thing with these Captain Swing Penny Dreadful things.
Yeah, that's also Avatar, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand what they're doing. Cat Shit Volume 1. That's war manga. Worth taking a look at. Code Prue. I think this is just a reprint of all the covers.
Yeah.
Maybe. Got Fuhrer and the Tramp #1. This is Source Point Press book. And he said it's an Eisner-nominated comic that is in print for the very first time. Charlie Chaplin didn't become the world's biggest star by courting controversy, but when he comes face to face with the horrors of Hitler, he feels compelled to get off the sidelines and get involved. Then Charlie is approached by FDR himself with a special assignment. This sounds a lot like that. What was that? Rough Riders?
Yeah, exactly.
Rough Riders?
Yeah.
Yeah, from Aftershock that we liked.
Mm-hmm.
But this is interesting. I'm going to take a note of this one. Fear and the Tramp.
Super Duck #1. This is a Archie comic by Frank Thierry. Looks pretty all-agey. The Super Duck is the greatest hero of Ducktropolis.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
No One's Rose #1 from Vault Comics. This is Emily Horn, Zach Thompson, with an Alberto Jimenez Albuquerque interior and cover art. And this is what is this? This is inside lives teenager Tin Gavrilla, a bioengineer who could rebuild the planet, but there's one problem: her resentful brother Saren is eager to dismantle the precarious utopia.
Always those resentful brothers.
Yeah, so I think we've seen this before. It might have a good look to it.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Does that be all for you?
I'll take a glance at Shang, but that doesn't do it for me.
Zenoscope.
Yeah. Whew, man. Rough week for spec picks.
Yep, Drew, this point of the podcast where I ask for your pick of the week. What's the one pick to make sure you run to your comic book shop and put your mask and your rubber gloves on and head out and make sure that you get or tell them to put in the pullback? Drew, what do we got?
I got to go with the Fuhrer and the Tramp from Source Point Press.
Very nice. I'm going to go ahead and say pick up Once and Future number 7, but that's also telling you to read the trade.
Yes. And it's been, since it's been gone for a while, and we know every single other issue has gone into multiple printings.
Yep.
Good chance this one will as well.
There you go. So, we hope you're safe. We thank you for listening. We hope we've taken your mind off some things, even though we've referenced it 1,000 times in this book or in this episode. But please be part of the podcast. Write in, tell us how you're doing, what's going on, whether comics are saving you from your quarantined lifestyle, if it's changed your habits and things, what you're doing about the future, what you're doing about ordering, what you're doing about your pulls, how's your LCS doing, these kind of things. We love comics. We want to see the industry continue to find and thrive and mash through this. We want to see small business owners and small comic book shops continue to do the things they need to do to get past this and continue to be our friends and affect our lifestyles and the things that we like as well. So tell us what you're doing to support your LCSs during this time, to support your habits and your ability to get comics in this time. We would absolutely love to hear what you guys are doing and how you're all doing. We appreciate you guys so much. So for Drew and for myself, see you.